All right, cool. So the little warm up then, just to get ourselves in this kind of state for a good little episode, we're going to just do a bit of improv. It's going to take like 1 minute. It's very easy. We're going to have a conversation. That's it. Nobody knows what the conversation is about, but we take it in turns. But it's in numbers. We're going to count to 30. That's it. But you can use your tone. You can do whatever you want. We don't know what the conversation is about, but it's just going to be fun. So I'll start by saying like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can say however you want. Alan, you can do 3 numbers, 4 numbers, whatever you want. Then it goes to Matt. And then to me. So I'll start, then Alan, and then Matt.
Sorry, just to clarify, we're counting to 30, but the improv is when we do our numbers, we choose how many and how and our delivery, right?
Yeah. So once I do the first few numbers, you'll kind of get it. All right, are you ready?
Did you learn this yesterday on your course?
No. This was another magician that I know that does improv as well. Right, are you ready?
Hang on.
And can you count to 30 as well?
I'm still a bit confused about the simplicity of this. It's too simple.
Who's going second? Me.
Alan.
Reversal. Oh, okay. I like
me,
to kind of...
Alan, Matt,
right,
and then back to me. All right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
7.
8.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
21, 22, 23, 24.
25! 26! 27! I just blew my mic.
28, 29, 30.
Gold. Pure gold.
I'm all right.
There you go.
Ricky, I'm all right with that, other than blowing up my microphone.
On that note, welcome everybody to the Three Men and Podcast, the podcast where 3 men talk about one particular subject. And this week's subject is, drum roll please, sound effect, and on the video, little drum roll, toys from our childhood. So this whole thing came about because one of my children has just got a Tamagotchi. And
what?
it was
Retro.
Yeah, proper retro. And then because one of the children has a Tamagotchi, all of them need one now. So I just wondered, what was your favourite toy from when you grew up? By the way, halfway through, I've got a little game.
Oh,
Yay!
Yes, I'm excited.
It wouldn't be a 3 Men and Podcast without a game.
No. You can tell this is episode 5, can't you? Our energy is just like, whee!
Before we jump to the favourite toys, can I... Right, you just mentioned Tamagotchi. So 2 things off the back of that one. I've got a story about kind of that. And then the other thing is, Ricky, before we start recorded, we were just discussing being parents and stuff and things like that. And Ricky, yes. So basically the other thing is, if one kid has it, they all want it. And that's a nightmare in itself as well. Right, so on the Tamagotchi, before we jump into toys, my sister's stepdaughter, whatever, ignore that bit, she just asked for something tie-dye. She's 10 or 9, I lose 10, tie-dye for her birthday, right, from us, which we got her a tie-dye rucksack.
Isn't it?
Right, so I just want to put out there, tie-dyeing was not cool in the 70s. I was born in 1978, don't quite remember it, but I got the aftermath. Tie-dyeing still wasn't cool in the 90s when it came around again. And I'm just going to suggest this, in 2021, it's still not cool. So how does tie-dyeing keep coming back around, let alone Tamagotchis, which were an absolute nightmare in the late 90s, like sitting there keeping it alive? How are they still going? Who invented it? Are they millionaires? I hope so.
Yeah, it's true.
I've got a tie-dye story. So literally, start of pandemic last year, we ran out of things to do in probably April. So Tina found videos on YouTube of people and how they tie-dyed clothes. I've got about 3 tie-dyed T-shirts at home, which I've never worn.
Because OnlyFans.
Yeah. Because she tied knots in them in the garden, left them on the floor and just sprayed them with bleach.
Oh no, aren't you meant to soak them in a bucket after tying knots and with dyeing? That's why the tie and the dye part comes.
Yeah,
from.
and this is why Matt's has long hair, which I don't think anyone's going to know that, are they? On the hashtag
long
OnlyFans.
nipple hair.
It was the bleach from the tie-dye that's affected his... It's like a mutant. You turn into a superhero.
I'm not going to lie. Some of the T-shirts are outstanding. Not mine, the children.
No, that's an oxymoron. It can't be outstanding and tie-dye, so you can't have that. It literally doesn't exist, you know.
Have any of us ever worn tie-dye?
No.
Probably in the 90s. I think, if I'm on it, like, I was always a bit behind. So, like, I was born in 78, so I missed the 70s. But my sister, who's 4 years older than me, was into tie-dye, if I vaguely remember. So I probably wore one of her hand-me-downs. I have a recollection of her making a purple tie-dye T-shirt, which is like 3 levels of wrong. You know, the purple's just not cool either. So, no.
Ricky, did you never wear tie-dye? I've seen the pictures of you with long hair and, like, skater trousers.
No. Well, I was an emo child, yeah, an emo child, not a kind of hippie style. Yeah, no.
What are the rules around emo? Because I didn't go into that circle.
So emo, you pretty much wore like black, pretty much. I used to skateboard. I used to listen to emo music, so like My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, Funeral for a Friend. I mean, that title in itself sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But it wasn't. But a lot of people associate it with like, oh, go slit your wrist. It's not that at all. It's just about great music, great, just emotional lyrics.
I get that, but like, so for anyone listening, I'm 10 years older than Ricky, right? Give or take. I think it's 10 years. So when I was younger, they were goths. But goths, I think, did goths stop and emo took over where goth was, or does goth still exist?
Well, you had grunge as well, didn't you, in the 90s?
Yeah, but that's very different.
Me.
So so grunge came from. I know about grunge.
Yeah,
Seattle music scene, all of that. That's wrong.
Yeah. Well, we did have goths as well, because they were listening to like proper goth music, which was like
Marilyn Manson.
Well, yeah, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, but actually Slipknot was bloody amazing. Slipknot was fantastic, very talented people, very talented.
Actually, goths 10 years before Marilyn Manson. So I've been trying. Shall I Google what goths listened to in the 90s, or shall I not bother doing that today?
Well,
do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
But we had emo music,
Google typist.
but we also had townies, which later became chavs.
Yeah.
Yeah, used to wear like the Burberry stuff, you know, all Burberry caps.
But once again, townie was one of those weird ones, wasn't it? Because like, if you wore white trainers, you were a townie. But then there was kind of townie plus, which was the whole Burberry. But this is still like 2000s. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Like in 1996, I had a carpet coat and some kind of kicker shoes with, I think they were called little pie, like the top of the shoe where above your toes, for anyone listening on podcast, I'm gesticulating with my hands right now, but the top of the shoe above your toes, the leather was like twisted like a crimp on a pie, and that's we wore kickers and carpet coats. But I don't know what music basically has driven all of this, surely, but I don't know what
well, a lot of emo music was like pop punk, Blink-182, you know, like it's kind of like a pop version of the punk, and that kind of then escalated into like My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right, I knew that. So goth rock was basically Susie and the Banshees, Joy Division, Cure, stuff like that. Of course.
Joy Division, goth? Really?
Well, the thing with Joy Division, so Joy Division's at that weird one where it started like in the 70s and kind of went on, even though it was Ian Curtis after he killed himself. It sort of carried on and then got more famous. So
which became New Order, didn't it? Joy Division became New Order, the band from Joy Division.
I have to say that is my favourite thing. Like when is it 24-hour Party People with Steve Coogan? That whole period of music with the Hacienda in Manchester. I love that late kind of 70s into 80s into early. Like there's is it like the New Freedom Music Hall or something like that? There's this one gig in the late 70s where basically all these people, there was like 20 people in the audience. I'm going to Google it in a second. There's 20 people in the audience. And out of those 20 people, 50% went on to be pioneers in modern music. And it's like this one gig is basically synonymous with then music. And I want to say the Sex Pistols were on the stage. I'm Googling it. New Freedom.
So that was
music.
The birthing chapel for modern music.
Yeah, hold on.
Did you ever have any musical toys then, guys?
The only musical toys I've ever had was Guitar Hero.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, love that.
That's the only And I had the bass version. I had the electric guitar version. But
that was amazing.
Yeah, that's the only musical toys I've ever had.
It just felt like you were actually playing guitar as well, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they do them anymore, do they?
They're still around at arcades at the seaside.
Are they?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's ones where, it's brilliant. I've got the Beatles
very COVID
version
safe,
of it
isn't it?
Yeah.
Alan,
Right, very
come
quick.
on, fill us in.
Right, so this is on June the 4th, 1976. There was a Sex Pistols gig at the Lesser Free Trade Hall. I wasn't a million miles off, but right. At this gig were basically the Tony Wilson. This gig led to the formation of Joy Division, the Smiths, the Fall, and many more. All of these bands that came around in the late 70s, early 80s were all at this Sex Pistols gig, and they went on. And if you watch 24-Hour Party People with Steve Coogan in, he talks about this gig at the beginning of the film and how it led on to the Happy Mondays, New Order, Joy Division, and everything else. It's absolutely, if you're into music, you kind of, that's where modern music in the UK, modern music sort of started. I find music fascinating. So
yeah, I do, because when I grew up, and I'm similar age to you, Alan, but I wasn't into that scene of music at all. I touched on Meatloaf. That's
yes.
That's a phrase.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Exactly. So the Meatloaf was when I was at school, I wasn't in the cool group. I wasn't in the cool group. I was the kid that who's. Do you know the one?
The In-Betweeners.
Yeah. Do you know the one with the backpack who wears it with double straps and sort of runs everywhere because he's afraid to get beaten up? Yeah, I'm pretty much that guy. I think I had a briefcase at one point. I did have a briefcase.
But I think that's okay. Yeah. That's like, exploring as you get older and being creative and everything else, and then society knocks it out of you. But that will get me on a rant, so let's not do that.
Fun fact here at school. Here's a fun thing did you ever have a backpack that was like kind of like a satchel kind of thing? It'd have a clip here. It just go over the shoulder. So you get like Umbro. Do you remember Umbro bags and stuff like that? But it used to become a pet peeve because you'd walk around school and all your friends would just reach forward and clip it and your bag falls off. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that was really annoying.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. So so Meatloaf was my choice of music. However, the Goths, when I was at school, were the people who always stood in the corner, were always the first to smoke cigarettes, and there was, do you know, like crazy stories would come out. Like Jack melted wax into his own eyes, and then that's why he's got red eyes. This is like the stories that came out of the goth circle. No one knew what they did. No one knew what they were about. They just stood there and looked menacing. That was, for me, was the goth scene.
But this is the thing, isn't it? They were burning and crying because they were goths.
yes. But it's the expression, isn't it? But that's the thing. Like with society, you've gone, oh God, goths. Oh my God, they wear Slipknot. Oh, don't talk to them. Actually, it's just music, isn't it? I absolutely love Slipknot. I still listen to it every day because they're absolutely fantastic. They're very clever, very talented, and the music is really hard to play. But everything they created, that brand, I think it's fantastic. But yeah.
Fantastic.
But anyway, toys.
Right. So I only really remember two main toys from my kid, other than like playing with plastic cars. The brands I sort of remember for cartoon were Mask, so Mask Crusaders, working all the time, something like that, and Starcom, which basically were little spacemen in little spaceships. I don't know where that one came from, but they're the toys I have in my, other than like, playing with plastic cars, pots, pans. I was a kid in 90. Like, if we're looking at sort of under 10, I'm talking 1984 here. That was when I was 6. So it wasn't exactly known for the peak of kind of exuberance in the early 80s in the UK. So
yeah, my earliest childhood toy that I can remember was an Evel Knievel bike, which basically sat on a like a holder, and you pulled the string out and it read the tyres and then it went, and all it did was wheelie across the floor.
Oh yeah, they're still around now, I think, aren't they?
There is a TikTok account where all he does is stunts with an Evel Knievel toy.
Yes.
Every video is Evel Knievel on that toy doing different things. Yeah.
And I even included Evel Knievel in a carousel this week because
did you?
Yeah, it was my first one back. So guys, this is where are we now? It's very late May, early June. So I've just come back on my Instagram channel. So the one where I say I'm back and all that type of stuff, Evel Knievel's on like slide 5 or something because I'm not as excited.
We obviously didn't swipe far enough, did we?
No, well, I did. I swiped through them all. I thought, no, it's Matt. I want to have a look, and but I don't remember seeing Evel Knievel.
No, I remember the one that you were standing there like this. I think, laying on the floor.
Oh no, that was. It was kind of like that. It is that carousel, yeah.
Oh, okay, right. I'll go back to it.
Do it. So, what was your earliest toy, Ricky? What was the?
Yeah, well, I had lots of. I love TV shows. Biker Mice from Mars. I mean, you might have been a bit older by then, I think, weren't you? Biker Mice from
I
Mars.
remember Biker Mice from Mars.
This is 90s, though, isn't it?
Bucky O'Hare, yeah. Power Rangers was huge. And also, I'm still going to class it as a toy because it was, I think it's classed as toy, but Pokemon cards. Pokemon came out in my younger self. It's brilliant. Loved it. Primary school, Pokemon cards came out and they got banned within like a week because everyone was trading cards. And a fun story here, my brother, I never let him down for this, but my brother swapped a Charizard, which was one of the rarest cards you could get, for a Game Boy. At the time, I was really annoyed, but now I'm thinking, it's a pretty good deal, isn't it? He swapped it for a Game Boy.
That is a good swap. My 5.5-year-old Ben, he's quite into Pokemon now. They had to do one of these little projects for school. They had to turn an egg into something, and he wanted to turn his into Pikachu. So he made this little egg and Pikachu. Yeah, don't go, Ricky. It's a right pain in the bum when they come home from school with these projects to be discussed next week.
Yes.
So I recently bought a Mega Charizard Pokemon card from eBay. It was a fake one. Don't think it's like an original that cost loads and loads of money. But because, as we said at the very start of this, one child got into Pokemon. They all want Pokemon cards. We've got stacks in drawers of Pokemon cards like this where we've just bought them off the internet. And now, I think I bought a Mega Charizard because it's like folklore. Mega Charizard is the most powerful Pokemon. I bought one for my son. I think he's lost it. But Pokemon's still huge.
Yeah, it's
that begs the question then, Matt. Right. So advice. This perhaps should be my takeaway. No, I'm going to say I'm writing it down for my takeaway at the end. Sorry, I'm not going to say it now. Always right.
That's
written
good.
down.
That's good radio.
That's great. That's good gold. Yeah.
I mumbled it because I thought that would help with the podcast. But basically, for everyone listening, I just wrote down my takeaway because we always do 3 takeaways at the end.
I think they got that by the way that you went.
All right. But what about? So, what was I going to say about toys? So, do you still have any of your toys from kids? So, have your parents kept anything?
Yeah, my parents recently moved to the seaside. They're now retiring and living in there now, which is sad, their final home. But as they were moving home, they gave me everything from the attic, and it's sitting in my garage. And I spent a day a couple of weeks ago going through it, and it was just amazing, just remembering everything. It was like kind of muscle memory. Everything came back, what I felt, what I experienced, what I used to play with. I can't believe though as well, when you add it up as a monetary value, how much my mum and dad probably spent on toys. Because
ridiculous.
It's mental, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. So I don't have any of my toys. However, Tina's mum and dad kept literally everything, like her baby teeth, like first locks of hair. Everything is in their loft. We got a call probably 2 weeks ago. We've just found some TY babies. Do you know these beanie babies?
Yeah.
We just found some TYs in the loft. We Googled one, and apparently it's worth 300,000. Sorry?
So you flogged it there and then.
See, I don't believe this. I don't believe that. No, it's a Princess Diana rare, and apparently because it's made with polyethylene pellets, not polyprop pellets, and it's got a special tag on it. Apparently, it's worth thousands. Wow. If people Google or search on eBay for a Princess Diana TY babies, they're listed for about £100,000, £300,000. But if you go on the TY Baby website and officially look for the auction price, they're worth about £5, I think. Wow. So I think there's a massive folklore and like mystery around TY babies. But yeah, she's got loads of her own toys. And the thing is now, because Tina's 30, is the same age as Ricky. And
well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enter the klaxon sound. So because she's 30, these toys are like 20 years old. So now we've got kids of our own, and they're able to go up in the loft and find these toys. So they're playing with dance mats that go on like PlayStation 1s, but it still keeps them entertained. I think now, how was I entertained by playing? Have you played GoldenEye recently on the Nintendo 64?
It's bloody hard to aim, isn't it? What the hell?
Crap. It's crap because you once you've played Call of Duty and you've like run through maps that you've memorized in your head and all this type of stuff, going back to GoldenEye, it's like an 8-bit game.
Yeah,
it's terrible. But when I was playing it back in the, I think it was 2000s, it was insane. It was the best game that I've ever played. But so I wonder if there's a game that you really, really wanted when you were a kid that you never got for Christmas that you have subsequently bought. So, for example, I've got one in my head which I bought for Tina and I probably 3 or 4 years ago. I bought a Mr. Freeze for Christmas. Do you know the ones where you put the ice in his tummy, you spin it around and it shreds up the ice, and then you put the... I bought one of them for Tina and I. We never used it. It was just for nostalgia because she said she never got one for Christmas, so I got her one for Christmas. Was there a game or thing that you got for Christmas or didn't get for Christmas that you really wished you got?
I always wanted a Dreamcast. I had the PlayStation 1, and I remember going around my friend's house, and he had a Dreamcast, and it had Sonic 3D. And I'd previously had like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was 2D, just, side-scrolling. And I was like, this is amazing. And it had like Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. I was like, Mum, Robert's got a... that was my... Robert, yeah. Rob's got a Dreamcast. Can I get one? No, Rick, you're not getting one. Your birthday's not until next year. Oh. And I never got one. But I haven't actually bought it. But I think now I could just go on YouTube and watch the whole game from beginning. So I think, well, I won't buy it. I'll just watch it. And yeah. Because people just upload the whole things, don't they? They do like a narration for the game.
And make millions.
Yeah.
See, when I was growing up, I wanted was it a Commodore 64? Was the computer games and
with the floppy disks.
So one of my mates, Daniel Wilson, had a Commodore 64, but they were color graphics. So I had a BBC Electron, like where you could program it with basic language, like the computer language. I had one of them, and I got one of them for Christmas, and I was like stoked. I was so happy. But then I went around his house, and it had color graphics, and I was like, the BBC Electron shit.
do you remember, like, the first time you sat in front of a computer? You'd heard all this stuff, like, in the news about computers. It was amazing, and you sat in front of it, and it was DOS, and you kind of went... Yeah. What do I do now? You type run command / something, and it would print some. Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah. It's like whatever.
I mean, the cutting edge of the games. The cutting edge of the games were like, do you know the books that you used to get, which was you could either go left or right. Yeah. If you want to go left, turn to page 49. If you want to go right, it was literally that was the cutting edge of the game on the BBC Electron. You typed door 1, and then it would run the next set of text. So it was just like reading a book. Yeah, it's crap.
There's a great Netflix documentary about this, about the games that changed our lives. If you watch that, it shows you those.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
but I remember games like Turtles on. I think it was Commodore 64. There's a floppy disk. You put it in. I loved those games. I loved it. Fantastic.
See, I had the BBC Electron, and then my granddad got the first IBM like computer, and it was running Windows, and then it had Solitaire, and I learned how to play Solitaire. Never got to grips with Minesweeper. Can never know how to play Minesweeper.
It was tricky, wasn't it?
It was tricky.
Was it right mouse button? Was flag? You could put a flag down. Left click was to
mark. Yeah.
So that on a side, for anyone listening, the reason I'm not really joining in is because I didn't really have game consoles when I was younger, so I have no idea. I kind of know what they're talking about, but I can't really join in from a nostalgic. If you want to diss my humble beginnings, Ricky, feel free.
I do apologise.
No, it's a joke, mate. I don't mind. No,
grass still grows between the cracks.
Exactly. I don't even know what that means, but it's funny.
It feels like a tip-off to last week's episode that was never recorded.
Never going to see the light of day, last week's episode. Right, what was I going to say? So, when Windows 95 came out and all these other things, they always came with that default game, as you were just talking about, Minesweeper and everything else. I learned, so I have a MacBook M1. I'm in a very great position to be able to have one, which is the latest computer from Apple. It still has chess on it. It still has their default. I didn't realise this. I was in the apps on it the other day, and it's like, it has that. And I quite like that. It's almost a nod to nostalgia and the fact that The Queen's Gambit was on Netflix. And have you seen the figures of the increase in popularity of chess due to The Queen's Gambit on... Is it Queen's Gambit? King's Gambit?
It was Queen's Gambit.
The figures are huge, on the increase in popularity in chess.
And I saw a meme or a graphic going around that this guy who pitched Queen's Gambit to Netflix, pitched it to BBC, pitched it to ITV, pitched this series to so many different people. Everybody said no, and now I think at the time it was the biggest show to launch on Netflix because it just went viral.
It was really good.
That's the power of persistence.
Absolutely. And funnily enough, Emily and I had an idea. One of our other brands is called The Outside Bride. And we had an idea for a TV show, and we started down this kind of 6-month campaign of trying to get it made into a TV show. And everyone kept coming back going, so there's a few thoughts on here. I'll try and whip this up and come back to toys. So there's a few thoughts of why are we making a TV show? Why would we not just make it ourselves on YouTube, right? That's kind of thought one. But thought two is we decided we wanted a TV show for our own ego reasons. And everyone went, yeah, but there's no jeopardy. Everyone we spoke to went, there's no jeopardy in your TV show. And we went, there doesn't need to be jeopardy. And you know when you just know you're right? Well, we knew we were right. But unfortunately, life kind of after 6 months meant we couldn't go on with that project anymore, and we had to create a new project that was going to make some money, basically. So we did that, but we knew our TV show had legs, and we did speak to some production company. We even spoke to one producer who was kind of changing it slightly to kind of, and we were going, yeah, okay, you can change it because we want it on TV, but deep down we're like, no, don't change it. But anyway, yeah, so I get that persistence part. It does pay off. It's like the Ring doorbell guy. The Ring doorbell guy went on Dragon's Den. They said, no, that's a rubbish idea. And then Amazon bought it for $4 billion or something. So,
wow. Yeah. So Trunky is another one, isn't it? Didn't Trunky... Oh, did he get...
Oh, well done. Well done for bringing that back to kids' toys, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nice one, wasn't it? I'll tell you what, should we do a quiz?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do the game of the week. Play jingle now. Ding.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. Right. So we've done the jingle. We'll put it in post.
Yeah.
Or Ricky will put it in post.
I'll put it in
Ricky
post,
doesn't-
Yeah. 3-second jingle,
Thanks,
please,
Matt.
Ricky.
Right. So I've got 2 sets of questions.
Okay.
So we're going to call this game The Race. It's not a rip-off of The Chase. It's purely called The Race. So I've got 2 sets of questions. Question set A or question set B. I'd like you both to choose a set of questions.
Oh, Ricky, you go first, mate.
Okay. I'm
Age
going to say
before
A.
beauty.
A. Go for A.
Question set A. So there are 10 questions here, Ricky.
Okay.
That I'm going to ask you. They are all related around children's toys.
Okay.
Alan, you'll obviously have question set B, and you'll do the same afterwards. So
Oh,
it's just
cool.
who's
Can't
going to it's who's going to win. Oh, the drama.
What's
right.
the prize? A Commodore 64?
Correct. Right.
Let me have a look on
ahead.
eBay. Let me look on eBay.
I reckon they're quite expensive now.
Yeah.
Well, it also depends on how much money our OnlyFans accounts made us, to what
That's true.
prizes we can buy.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. If you want to check out the OnlyFans account, go and check the link in the show notes, or it'll be on this video around here. Right.
Commodore 64, £100 on eBay right now.
That's good.
There's one as low
very
as
good.
40 right now. About £100 right now.
40 for spares. Yeah. Right. Are you ready, Ricky?
I
Lark?
am ready.
Right, so there are 10 questions. They are all about toys.
Okay.
And your time starts... There is no time limit, but it sounds good. And your time starts now. LOL dolls are a popular little baby dolls that come wrapped inside a surprise toy ball.
True.
What does LOL stand for?
Laugh out loud?
No. In 2001, Yasmin, Jade, Chloe, Sasha became serious competitors to Barbie. How are these dolls collectively known?
Oh. Yasmin who? Yasmin?
Yasmin, Jade, Chloe, Sasha.
Is it the Kardashians? No, I don't, no, I don't know. I'm thinking of it because I remember in Argos, I think we used to sell these. Does it begin with B?
It does.
Is it
Brats,
am I allowed to
brats.
help? Brats.
Yes!
Ooh.
Right, so the first one was Little Outrageous Littles, is what LOL
Okay.
stands for. So
My
we'll
name's
give you the
Austin, I
answers
should
as we
know
go
that. Yeah, I should know that.
through. Bratz dolls, you're correct. Here we go. Throwback to earlier in the episode. Most Tamagotchis were housed in a small egg-shaped computer with an interface consisting of how many buttons?
2?
Incorrect, it was 3.
Oh.
Yeah. This one's so you have to get both parts of this question correct.
Okay.
In the game Buckaroo, which is the only playing piece to have a hole drilled in it, and how many pieces in total are there?
Playing piece that has a hole drilled through it.
Yeah. It's the only playing piece with a hole in it.
Is it the hat?
Correct.
Oh, yes. Brilliant.
Yes. The hat
Wow.
and how many pieces are there? So you have to get both parts correct.
10.
Oh, so close. It was 12. So you get that one right.
I was going to say
Good game.
12 just to join in there.
Thanks, Alan. What was the nationality of Professor Erno Rubik, the inventor of the Rubik's Cube?
Swedish?
That's what I would have said. He was Hungarian.
I'd have said Swedish, yeah.
Which action figure's most notable feature was that it could be stretched from its original size to nearly
Stretch Armstrong.
Yes! They get slightly easier now. Well, I say slightly easier. How many columns are there in a Connect 4 grid? This is a tough one.
Columns.
Yeah, how many columns?
8.
I think it's
7.
left.
Yes, it's 7. Correct.
7.
Well done.
Oh, wow.
Is there, honestly, I was going to go like 13.
Yeah.
No, it's 7.
Hold on,
I'll give you that
Googling
one.
it.
Which strategy board game is played on a board divided into 42 territories on 6 continents?
Monopoly. Oh no. Continents.
Oh.
Risk. Is it Risk?
Risk. It is Risk.
Yes.
Which melody is most often associated with a Jack in the Box?
Oh, melody. I don't know. I can kind of hear it playing in my head.
So when you're winding it up, it plays in.
Yeah. Do I have to sing it? Is it like a Shooting Stars?
Isn't it called Pop Goes the Weasel? Yeah, but you've got to do it in club style, like that.
Yeah, like
That's that one, isn't it?
we should do that.
Yes. That's
For
Vic
any,
Reeves from
for any
off of
listeners
the
just joined
90s.
in, Alan is not having a stroke. He's okay. He's just singing. Yes, yeah.
Don't know, I feel like I am some days.
Did you say?
Yeah.
Did you give me the answer, by the way?
I think Alan did. Was it Pop Goes the Weasel?
Correct, Ricky. Well done. That's a point for you.
Oh, did I? I didn't realise I'd said it.
And then final question number 10. In 2004, Brain Freeze was added to which game by Milton Bradley?
Brain Freeze?
Yes.
Added to what game?
Listeners love silence.
I don't know, mate. No, not sure.
You'll kick yourself when I say the answer. Operation.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, Operation. So, do you know they added the brain, and it was.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10.
Not bad.
So Alan has
Not bad.
5 to beat.
Oh.
I don't think I would have got 5 on that, like, on that list.
See, I think these are easier. But
If I do this, can you see me typing things in and Googling it?
yes,
You have to.
So
You
you have to show
like
hands.
This. Yes,
you have to show hands. Which? Are you ready, Alan? And your time starts now. Which popular game called Trouble in the United States features a clear plastic Pop-O-Matic die container in the middle?
I know the.
I know
If
it.
I do this, can you see me Googling it? No, I don't know. I can't think what it's called.
Can you
so
pass?
frustrating,
And then I'll
isn't it?
give... It's frustration. That's the game.
It is frustrating.
I'm frustrated about I don't know the answer to this question.
If you want to pass to me, Alan, I will give you the point if I know it.
All right, you Google it and send it to me on the text.
Yeah,
and then
okay.
Right.
Name the
No.
most recognisable brand of children's crayon.
Crayola.
Yes. This is quite a fun one. This one. So, which toy? I'm excited about my own game. Which toy was the first to be advertised on television, and has made appearances in the Toy Story films?
Ooh, it's not like tromboning. No, no. I Ricky. Right, for
I was going to say
anyone who's
Tomy. Is it Tomy?
No, which toy?
toy. Right, so I'm
Was the first to be
thinking
advertised on
something
television.
like I'm thinking it's something like Andy Pandy or like
No.
Is
first
it this?
adverts.
Think of a vegetable.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. Potato
Cabbage Patch.
Head.
Yes, Mr. Potato Head.
Was that the first advert? First toy?
Yes.
I thought it was
But
going to
now,
be like the
isn't it
soldiers.
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head in the modern world, or isn't it just Potato Head now with no gender?
It is potato. I
kind
think
of
they've
bias?
taken. Yeah, they've taken gender out of it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
Which electronic robotic toy resembling an owl-like creature was released in 1998?
I do remember that. But, Owlet, Mr. Owl, Mrs. Owl, Owl, because it wouldn't have gender.
Do you know, Ricky?
Say the question again.
Which electronic robotic toy resembling an owl-like creature was released in 1998?
Oh, no.
Owlo.
I asked him this just before.
Oh,
came
I know
on
it.
air.
I know it. Is it Furby?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Furby.
okay.
Yes.
I had this image of like a robotic owl that went toot, toot,
Well,
like
it was
this
the
and
eyes.
just-
The eyes that made me think.
it went-
Oh,
it-
yeah.
I
did
do
that, didn't
remember a Furby. I do
Yeah.
remember Furby.
There's a great, by the way, great show on Netflix, like The End of the World. Like with mobile phones. You've seen it. It's an animated film, and there's a giant
Sounds
Furby
positive.
in that. It's brilliant. Really good. Really good film.
Can we just confirm? Have I got anything right? I mean, without help.
You Crayola,
Oh,
which is
okay.
probably
Come on,
at the level you're at, Alan.
Many a true word said in jest.
What number does the spin wheel on the Game of Life go up to?
No, like 58? I don't know.
No,
I genuinely don't know. 10.
I thought these were easier. 10. In 1966, Action Man was launched in Britain as a licensed copy of which American toy?
I know it.
G.I. Joe.
Correct.
Yes.
What was the name of Nintendo's first handheld game console?
Game Boy.
Correct. Oh, we're on a roll now, Alan. We're on a roll.
on, hit
Which
me
He must be
with
on
it.
4. He must be on 4 now.
He's on 4, yeah. So he's got 3 questions left.
Oh.
Okay.
The final 2 are quite difficult though, so you need to nail this one. Which British fashion doll was created in 1963 as a rival
Cindy.
to Barbie? Yes.
Oh.
Before it was even over, I knew it. I can feel the accolades.
Which traditional toy was invented by Germans Max Poling and Ernst Gottschall?
I'm going to go with, and I don't think this is right, but traditional toy. I'm going to go with Meccano.
Ooh. No, the clue was in the titles of their names.
Oh,
Say
I did
again.
think
So I'll say Max Poling and Ernst Gottsch.
Pogotch.
okay then,
Pogo stick.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, nice
Yeah.
one.
So
I thought you were going to
you
say
got
like
that
Mighty Max or something.
Still popular as well, pogo sticks. Buy them in Smiths.
Are they?
Is that
Smith's
it? Is that all?
the poor man? No, you've got one more question left. If you get this
Oh, right.
correct,
Hold on, Smith's the poor man's what?
poor man's Toys
What's
R
the
Us.
Yeah, but Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore.
No, you're right.
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
shut down. So now it's just the. What about, what about the entertainment? Don't know. Anyway,
The
what's the
entertainer.
last question?
No one
Yeah.
cares about the entertainer.
No one cares about the entertainment.
Apart from children. The name of which game? So this is your final question, Alan. If you get this correct, you take
Can I
home
just say,
the Commodore
the
64.
Entertainer does have some great deals in it. It isn't worth truly ignoring. There's one in our local place, Whiteley, and you kind of go in
love
there because
Whiteley.
it's there. Oh, do you? Yeah, actually, I like Whiteley.
Yeah.
But until Pizza Express shut, because that was my favourite one. And anyway, you go in Whiteley, you go in Entertainer at Whiteley because they have some amazing deals in there. Which
So my
when you're
first-
spending them.
So small Whiteley story, just before we finish the quiz. Small Whiteley story. When I first met Tina, I lived in Fareham, so not far from Whiteley, and she lived in Bournemouth. She came down to see me, and we went for our first ever external date to the Starbucks in Whiteley. And then we said, right, we're going to go and I'll buy us some dinner. And I took her to Tesco's, and we walked out with a bottle of wine and some toilet roll. That was our first ever.
What a party you had!
Exactly.
The essentials.
I know how to treat a lady. Let me just put it that way.
Can I just say, so when I met Emily, I lived in Bournemouth and she lived in Sholing in Southampton. Now, you made the right choice. You moved to Bournemouth. I made the wrong choice. I left Bournemouth and moved to Sholing. Now, I love Emily, I love her family, and I love everything about it. But yeah, I should have persuaded her to come to Bournemouth. Just putting it out there. So well done,
Right.
Matt, for making the correct decision there.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Right. Now the tension returns. If you get this answer correct, you take home the Commodore 64. If you don't, it's a draw and it's a bit of a drab quiz.
Just doing my.
Then we have a
karate
bonus
kick
question.
warm-up.
We've got to have a bonus question. First one to answer it then, if it's a draw.
Fastest fingers first.
Yeah.
I haven't got a bonus question.
Ready.
The name of which game is derived from the Swahili word which means to build?
I have no idea at all, but I think I'm going to go with Tetris.
You
Is it wrong?
Tetris is incorrect. I'm going to pass it over to
Stupid
Ricky
game
to see if he
anyway.
can.
No one likes your game, Matt. No one likes it.
I'm going to pass it over to Ricky.
So I'm guessing that it's then a Game Boy sort of thing, or like a
No,
electronic. Oh,
it's,
okay. Oh,
it's
right.
not a.
Physical building.
It's a physical building game.
Well, it can't be Lego.
Don't you start googling it, Mr. Braithwaite.
Oh, I'm out. Do I get a second guess? So if Ricky gets
No.
it wrong, I get another guess.
It can't be Lego because that's
It's not Lego.
Are we on 5 each
And it-
right
and
now?
it
So
wouldn't be-
surely this
No,
is
you're on
sudden
f-
death.
No,
I'm
you're on.
4.
Oh no, you are on 5
Amazon 5,
You're on
yeah.
5 each.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wait,
think it's
5
gonna be
assisted or 5 off my own back?
No, you did 5 off your own back.
All right.
to build.
I think Ricky got one that was assisted.
Is it Playmobil?
Wrong. Shall I give you the answer?
Yeah.
Jenga.
Jenga!
Jenga, oh! It's like there's a kid's cartoon.
Honestly,
It's
when
so
I
nice,
clip this episode up, it's literally going to be Jenga.
So, interestingly, right, there's a kid's cartoon, Ricky, that you're going to get to love called like Tenga or something. So then you said Jenga, and our kids' swimming school is owned by a lady called Senga. So I said there, we've got chatty with Senga when we go there, because it's in like in our back garden. All this weird stuff happens with kids, Ricky. You go to people's back gardens to learn to swim. And I went, oh, Senga, you know, because we've been chatting for a few months now. You know, do you mind me asking where's your name come from? And I was expecting her to tell me that she had like heritage from the Democratic Republic of Congo or something in deep Western dark Africa. And she goes, no, it's Scottish, it's Agnes in reverse. And I'm like, Senga, I was expecting this amazing like story about your heritage coming from African nations and stuff like this. And it's basically Scottish and Agnes in reverse.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
There we go.
Interesting.
And Senga, if you're listening, I love your name. Thank you. And the kids love swimming.
That was a very good quiz, that, Matt. Love that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good quiz.
All right.
Good quiz.
So it was a draw in the end, I think, wasn't it?
So are we going to have a bonus question then?
No, it wasn't a draw, because, was it? I don't know.
Yeah, we both got 5.
Yeah, it was a draw. It was a draw.
I'm happy. I mean, we can do another question because it'll be funny, or I'm just quite happy to concede defeat. Concede defeat.
Whatever. I'm quite happy for another question.
Let me Google one then. YouTube pad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's
So
talk about
what other
Jenga.
toy?
Jenga was great, wasn't
Jenga.
it? And you can get giant Jengas, can't you? They use them at weddings quite a lot. You see them?
We had one in our wedding business. We had giant Jenga and put it out.
I bet it was a nightmare to build, wasn't it?
No, it is. It's on my list. Right. So as a kind of, there are toys that are just a pain in the bottom, and anything that you have to build repeatedly that people enjoy knocking over is on the list of that's a faff. You know, like Buckaroo. When you have children, you go, this is nostalgic. Kaplunk, right? We bought our kids Kaplunk. Yeah. No, don't do it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you on toys with little pieces, one big piece. That's the rules. Sorry, Matt. Go.
Well, I've been told this by my brother. My brother hated every time I bought a gift for my niece and nephew, which was musical. He went, "Oh, you wait, Ricky. You wait until you have kids," because it just annoyed the hell out of him. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Those were the worst toys that I've ever had. In my household. So this is complete. I'm not talking very good English, but the worst toys that you can ever have in your house are the ones which play a small, short melody when a button is pressed. If you have those.
Do you have toot driver, like, and it just goes toot
mate.
toot drivers. And what the worst thing is, right, Ricky, you'll be sat there in the evenings watching TV with Danielle, going, "Oh God, the kids are asleep. We've got 5 minutes," and you'll hear this toy come wafting over the airwaves, and you go. And you literally won't be able to find it, and it will just be going on and on. Our kids have got electronic Thomas, like Ben and Joseph love Thomas the Tank Engine, and they've got some electric ones, and you just hear this very faint motor, but you can never find it because they've put it on the floor and it's gone under a piece of furniture. So you just hear this coming over around the house at night time. It's horrible. It's like Chinese water torture.
It is. We had toot animals, so every single animals, and then we also got the toot advent calendar for Christmas, which again, it hadn't been unboxed, but because it was on the side at Christmas, you're sat down watching TV before Christmas Day, before it's been opened, and it's bloody making noise before it's even been opened. You can't even open it to turn it off.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. Right, final tiebreaker question. So this stat is accurate as of 2017, so it's slightly out of date possibly. However, and it's fastest to answer wins. So it's fingers on your buzzers. Featuring 7,541 pieces, what do you build with the largest Lego set ever?
I got it.
Starship.
Oh wait, I said.
He said whoever answers.
I said I got it.
Oh, go
on then.
Is it the
Star Cruiser?
I was going to say the Harry Potter.
No, Ricky, it's not Harry.
Is it from Star Wars and it's the Star Cruiser thing, or is it the Millennium Falcon?
Oh. what? This is the most animated I've ever seen Alan. We've got Jenga, Jenga, Jenga then.
I had a coffee. I'm all right today. I had a good night. Funny enough, I apologize. This is not a parental rant, but last night was one of the first night. We don't get many that none of the kids came in the night. The night before was a full moon. It was a nightmare. Everyone was all over the place. Last night, everyone went through. So there was nothing in the night. Nothing. So it was a good night's sleep.
So many jokes, so little time.
I know. Nothing appeared. Nothing came up.
Right, we're going back to Chris Moyle's 1990s era again. That was last week's episode.
Yeah. That was a subtle innuendo. That wasn't too bad, I think. Yeah. I don't want to go any worse than that. We don't want to be too laddish.
Alan, are you competitive?
So, yes, but I don't need to win. So I'm a bad winner and a bad loser, right? But I love the competition. I do not need to win. But I absolutely love the competition. So as I'm a boring 40-year-old with like past in corporate world, I've done all those strengths finder stuff, and competitions like my second or third biggest strength. It's like strategic maximizer competition, something like that. And so I absolutely love the competition, but I do not need to win. I'm not like that. But I will be a bad loser and a bad winner as part of the kind of enjoyment of it.
I just loved how you turned into a gangster at the end there.
Do you not like, when people win, it's like on the radio when they do a surprise call and someone wins and they go, oh, thanks very much, like that.
Oh,
there's a meme of the guy who won like 185 million on the lottery, and he rang up and went, yeah, can you check my ticket, please? And the guy on the phone like tap, 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 and goes, yeah, I think you've got a winner. It seems that you've won 185 million. He's like, oh, right, thanks. Like, it's like
then
the most British
to his wife as well and go,
yeah,
I think we've won. Yeah,
it is.
No,
whereas I would have put the phone on loudspeaker and started like running, firing into the air, because that's stupid.
You better
and funny.
fucking bring it to me on a silver cushion.
It would have been full on Jerry Maguire, show me the money. It would have been, absolutely would have gone mental.
That's the second time Alan broke his mic today.
Yeah. It's got a little red light on it and it keeps going off today. I might move it away.
I'm looking forward to. I hope that Alan, that you are like this in the coffee morning in about 15 minutes time, just to see the.
No, I've used it all up. There's always a fall after the peak. Everyone knows that. This is the peak. Trough coming up.
Well, just quickly, I was going to say with the radio thing, you made me think of. Have you heard of Barry Loves a Minty Biscuit?
No.
Is this Chris Moyles in the 90s again?
No, I think it was like it's Barry from Watford calls Ian Lee.
Can I just interrupt you, Ricky?
All right, yeah.
So last week, listeners, we recorded a podcast, Fat. Basically, if we become as big as the Beatles, we'll come out as one of those lost recordings. That's pretty much. It's never going to... It was terrible for many, many reasons. Ricky, I just want to remind you of all of the many reasons last week's is never going to be coming out. Are you sure you want to tell this story? Are you sure?
No, we'll put this on #OnlyFans, but it's a hilarious... Okay. It's a very funny story. It's a comedian that rings up about a minty biscuit. It's hilarious. I'll send the link to you after. Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Check it out. It's on YouTube, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you not telling us the story?
No, I won't tell you, just in case. Yeah, just in case.
So it does have connotations, which probably...
No, it's actually all right, but I was just conscious of the time. That was all. I'm conscious of the time.
What is it? Oh, I didn't know the time.
That's my job.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry.
I didn't even know we'd been going that long. This is a good episode, I think.
This is, yeah.
And we are humble.
Right. Hey, no one else is going to do it, so you might as well do it yourself. So.
Right, so final question then for you guys. What was your favourite toy when you were growing up?
Okay.
And then we'll do the takeaways, and then we'll end the show, and we'll move on. So what was your favourite toy?
Can I pick a bike? I always remember being out on my bike. Like, I remember getting a mini BMX when I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember learning to ride on it. I remember my first crash, I cut up the side of my mouth because I jumped something and cut it all up on its curb. Like, a lot of my memories are about me riding on my bike. So I'm picking.
Did you ever have a chopper?
No, I had none of that. I just remember having this little BMX. No, I don't know. I don't really... Like, when you were talking about the toy you never had that you wanted, I don't really remember that. I do occasionally Google stuff and think about buying it, but I'm a bit more... Like, I want to buy the back catalogue of Haynes manuals for every car I've ever owned. That's like how my head works.
Let's go to Halfords. They're in Halfords still.
I know, but I don't want to pay full price for them, so I like the idea of every car I've ever owned in Haynes manual form in chronological order of me owning it. That's like how my head works.
So now I've got a throwback in my head of you winning the lottery at 185 million, going, all right, yep, Emily, I'm going to buy those Haynes manuals now.
Literally, I would go out and buy a tuk-tuk. You know, if I won the lottery, there's a guy in Eastleigh who sells tuk-tuks. That would be my first place because I want to drive around on a tuk-tuk because that's stupid and it will make me smile every time I get in it. That's how
Would you paint it yellow?
Yeah, 100%. Because then I could write it off as a business expense as marketing. You
heard it here, world's first. Yeah.
Ricky, what was the toy?
I think it's got to be my Sega Mega Drive. It's got to be. I spent years and years on that, and that just kind of still to this day I still love playing games. And I think it was just the idea of transporting yourself into another world, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Pitfall, Tetris. I'd spent hours on that, and also I just remember doing the old, Dad, it's not working. I'll just take it out, Rick. And you put it back in,
Yeah, I hate it when you take it out and blow it. I know, it's terrible.
Chris Moyles.
Oh, sorry. But you know what? When you without being smutty, and that was a little bit like we've all done that. We've all like blown into something electrical, going that will clean it, like not knowing that you're putting all this moisture and other skank into it.
Yeah.
To try and gloss over the rudeness.
No, that's good. I like that. So my favourite game wasn't actually physical or electronic. It was playing Manhunt with my friends in the park. So where you literally go to a country park, and then you all split up, and you're basically being commando. You lay in bushes, you lay in leaves, and you all have to find each other. My son, who's now 14, 15, he plays this with his friends. When he comes to stay with me, he just literally says to me, Dad, can I go home early? Because I want to go and play Manhunt with my friends.
Yes.
Those times as a boy, playing Manhunt in the woods, were the happiest times of my life.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So I was in Scouts from the age of 6, and we would do wide games, but Manhunt would always be the wide game. Like, let's say, we would think we were commandos laying in the nettles and everything else.
Well, we used to play that as well, and my brother joined, he actually went into the army, but he was in the Army Cadets as well. So when we used to go play Manhunt, he would turn up in full army costume, and he always won. He was fantastic. I remember one time just sitting in a bush, and then he was right next to me. I didn't even know. He scared the shit out of me.
On that note, I'm going to wrap up the episode, guys. Do you want to do a takeaway? Should we do a takeaway?
Mine's pretty quick. Mine's pretty. So it's look. Don't get me wrong. It's not all about this, but if you're buying a toy that you think's particularly special, buy 2 and put 1 in the box for whether you want to give it to your kids when they're older, or when you're older, or whether you decide to flog it on eBay in 30 years' time. Don't really care. But if you're buying something that's particularly special, buy 2.
I like that.
That's it.
Well, my takeaway then, I think, would be this was a discussion that's came up quite a lot this week about the idea of play. And when you're kids, you're taught to be creative and play, and then the first thing you do is join school, and they give you like this, a little line notepad, and they say write in the lines. Don't go out the lines, write in the margin. And then from that age on, you just kind of lose that innocence, don't you? And you lose that playfulness. So I think just go out there and be cheeky, be playful, have fun.
Yeah. Because school knocks it all out. Basically, school kills creativity and knocks it all out of you. But we might have to save that for its own podcast.
Yeah.
Alan's education rants.
So my takeaway was pretty similar to Ricky's, actually, which is just don't ever think that you're constrained with what you're given. Always look for something more. So you can, like my son Theo, he's 6 now. From the moment he was born, he had a small teddy put in his cot. He still carries that teddy around with him today. He's called Piggy, and he won't ever go to bed without him. I remember having exactly the same. Mine was called Charlie. He was a little blue bear. Always take these things from your childhood and carry them through, and never think that it's strange, weird, or crazy, because that's made you who you are today.
Agreed.
Don't forget to subscribe to our... Ricky just put that in the chat.
I think that's hilarious.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. 5 stars would be perfect, because we all like 5-star reviews. You can also head over to our OnlyFans account, which we're going to set up, I'm sure, before this point. And even, the website might even be live, which is www.the3menandpodcast.com. And you can go and visit that, and you can just catch up on all the episodes. But thank you, guys. Thank you for coming along for my episode this week.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I loved it. Yeah,
all right.
Good times.
Well, see you next week, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Have fun, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye.